Hey there, welcome back to Creepy Encounters. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the videos. I've been followed by a hooded guy. I'm from France. It happened in 2019 in October or November, I don't remember precisely. Last year, I used to live in student accommodation. My sister was living there too, but in another apartment, in a building in front of mine. One night a hooded man with a threatening look tried to follow her, but hopefully there were other people in the building so she was safe. She also pretended to talk on the phone to make him believe she wasn't alone. This event really traumatized her, but to be honest I thought that she was a little bit too much paranoid until the day the same thing happened to me. My sister and I could only see each other when it was dark because of the classes and because it was getting dark pretty early during this period of the year. One evening, I was coming home from my sister's, and when walking I felt that someone was behind me. I turned around and saw a guy that looked like what my sister described a few days ago. He was about my height, 175 meters, wearing a black hood, hands in his pockets. It was dark, pretty late, and there were nobody around, but I could see that he looked pretty angry and was staring at me. The thing that really frightened is that he was walking at the same time as me. When I was slowing down, or walking faster, he would do the same. At this moment I thought to myself, I'm gonna die today, it's over, probably because I was going through a difficult period, was pretty pessimistic about everything and was feeling like shit. But a few seconds after, I noticed that I was heading towards a blind spot and I had an idea. I had nothing to lose, so I kept walking normally, thinking about it. At the moment when I reached this blind spot, I ran for my life to make sure he didn't see where I was living. After reaching my door, I struggled putting my key in the lock as my hand was trembling. I opened the door, locked it, and I went right after this to the window of my bathroom, which was leading towards the outside hallway, where he began to follow me. What did I see? He was leaving quickly the apartment complex. Afterwards, I told everything to my sister on the phone and carried my life as nothing happened. When I think about it, I wonder what would have happened to me if I didn't have the chance to run faster than him? What were his intentions? Why was he staring at me so badly, as if I hurt him? I hope this kind of encounter won't happen to me ever again. Sorry for my English. Sounds scary. Yes, the man that came after me was angry too. I was on a walk by a field not far from my house trying to get some exercise. This car had passed once and came back and stopped, and the angry man got out and started walking toward me. Cars came and I ran away from him in the opposite direction as he was parked. I made it home safely but stopped going alone that way. I see many women also exercising going the same path. Luckily no one has been attacked. Your story sounds scary too. I hope he won't hurt people. Same here. The trouble is, however, that all too often, people like that aren't stopped until they do rob, assault, seriously injure, and/or even kill somebody. Carry a weapon lawfully. Or a guard dog. Definitely get a pepper spray. Weapon lawfully. Carrying a weapon in France is forbidden, so I'm gonna try to get a pepper spray. I'd also like to learn how to fight. If pepper spray isn't permitted, carry travel-sized hairspray. Hurts really bad and you can say it's for style. Getting a guard dog is honestly a good idea. Pepper spray is a must, but if you can look into training a dog, whether you're outside or at home, you'd be surprised at how often they tip the balance. They're in student accommodation. Ike about where you live, but where I am, pets of any kind, let alone a dog, and especially a large one, are typically expressly forbidden. I missed that part, thanks for clarifying, smile. When I first read Hooded Guy, I was imagining one of those Grim Reaper costumes. This is a story that's very much of this time and age. Next story. Almost got kidnapped in Jamaica. So this story happens when I was 14, male, on a family vacation to Jamaica. My family and I are from VA and we drove down to somewhere in FL to take a cruise to Jamaica. Me, later becoming somewhat of a drug connoisseur, was super eager for the trip as I had smoked weed a couple of times by then and really enjoyed it and thought Jamaica weed was supposed to be something special. I would later find out it's not so great. So we get to the island, and we pull into a port that's made for cruises, tourists, and are told we should not leave the resort area. There are many activities to choose from, and in an effort to try and find some weed, I was adamant about choosing an activity different from the rest of my family so I could just skip it and spend that time looking for bud. My parents were strict and in the military, so I was surprised I was able to persuade them on this, but they probably thought I would be safe with tagging along with other families in the resort. So I go into a store at the resort and start looking around for nothing in particular, and start giving locals the look when you're trying to buy something under the table. Not long after, an older Jamaican man, maybe 40 years old, approached me and asked me what I was looking for. I told him I was looking for weed and he told me to follow him in the back. We go in the back and he gets into a white van and asked me to hop in. I know. I actually got in thinking the deal was going to take place in the parking lot, but I was wrong and we left the store and eventually the resort area. We start driving for a good 15 minutes and I start to get the feeling that I'm not going to be getting any weed today. I asked him where we're going and he tells me the place is not far away and asked me how much money I have and if I want any cocaine as well. As a 13-year-old I only had 20 or 30 bucks on me, but I was pretty terrified at this point and told him that he could have it all. He was visibly upset with this. We pull up to the spot, and then the front of the property is a gate with no fence guarded by a local dude with a German Shepherd and AK-47. I had bright blonde hair and blue eyes and was sure that I was about to be kidnapped and maybe be on the news or something. After we passed through the gate we pulled up to the first house and he tells me to wait in the car. After about 20 terrifying minutes, he comes back with a fat sack of Jamaican swag and drives me back to the resort unharmed. I hope that wasn't too anticlimactic, but I read a lot of stories on here and wanted to contribute some of mine. Thanks. This is one of the better stories on here. Thanks a lot, dude. Wow. Had me on edge there. Glad it turned out good as you expected and returned unharmed. You are a brave one. Haha, it was a little bold for sure. In pursuit of the green. That's crazy. When you're young, you sure do some dumb things. Thankful that this story came to a safe and happy conclusion. Thank you. Nice fat sack. Jamaica is sweet. It is cool. I've been since but to Kingston. I'm actually so glad this story ended the way it did. So were my parents when I told them a few months later. Lol, never went on any more cruises. I thought this was going to end with you jumping out of the van or him trying to attack you. I am glad nothing happened and you were safe. I was actually holding my breath while reading. Same. I'm way happier with the real ending though. Crying face. I hope you got good and stoned after taking that crazy risk up. Third story. Creepy guy with unknown intentions. So, at the time that this happened, I was a single parent, living alone with my children in an apartment in a small town. I had went to take the trash out one night, about 10:30 p.m. I crossed the parking lot to the nearest dumpster and noticed a guy in a hoodie walking towards me, which I didn't think was odd, because there was a gas station a few blocks away in that direction, and residents of the apartments would often walk there to get a pack of cigarettes or some beer. I didn't say anything to the guy, dropped my trash into the dumpster and turned to walk back to my apartment. And the guy turns, too. There were 3 other apartments near mine in that area, and all but one of them was vacant at the time, and the one that wasn't vacant was an older lady who never had any visitors, and certainly not anyone that looked like this sketchy looking dude. So, I start walking faster and he follows faster. Mind you, I am wearing fuzzy slippers and pajamas that are too big for me, as I am very short and my pants are always too long for me. I began trying to run with this guy on my heels and my son, who was 13 at the time, I believe, steps out on the porch with his BB gun, that looks like a small rifle, and the guy turned on his heels and bolted the opposite way. My son scared him off. I told a friend about this later and she was sure it was her creepy, tweaker stepbrother, and was glad my son scared him away. Now, nearly 3 years later, my partner shows me a Facebook profile of a guy he works with and as soon as I saw it, it hit me, that's the guy. I have no idea what his intentions were, but that was definitely him. And he is related to the friend's stepbrother, as well. Small towns, man. What a trip.